Come and see what we're cooking, they said. Season 6 is going to be something that makes you think, ah yes, this is Battlefield, they said. What's going on, everybody? Catalyst here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well. Another one of these kind of unplanned news videos. Catalyst HD, the Battlefield news YouTuber evolution, is still continuing. I feel like a Pokemon that's evolving. I promise more of my traditional content is coming. We've got best weapons for Season 6 and beyond coming up really soon, like in the next couple of days. We also have some rankings of all the map reworks. So me and Gravity have teamed up to talk about all the maps that got reworked, how good they are, so on and so forth. That'll be coming in the next few weeks. But today, I want to talk about this Battlefield 2042 development update that we got yesterday, an extremely hyped up development update, might I add. I believe a lot of us were expecting to get some information on Season 6 since Season 5 is about all wrapped up, but the only real information that we got about Season 6 was that it is delayed until October, so there is going to be an additional 6 weeks between the end of Season 5 and what is potentially the last season for Battlefield 2042 in Season 6. So what, you might ask, is coming in those 6 weeks, if anything is coming in those 6 weeks in between seasons? Well, that is what the rest of the developer update was for, as DICE announced Battlefield 2042 Redux. Which is 6 weeks of quote-unquote new content where we will be revisiting the mid-season events from Seasons 2, 3, and 4. So that will be the Liquidators event for 2 weeks, the Battle of Norvik for a set of 2 weeks, and then finally the Leviathan Rising event for the final 2 weeks. And the game modes, the limited time game modes that also came with those events, so like Rush Chaos XL, Tactical Conquest, Shutdown, Breakthrough Chaos, which is the 128 player breakthrough, if I remember correctly. Those limited time game modes will also be making a reappearance, and they will be on more maps. So essentially what DICE has done is they've added new layouts to these game modes. They've tweaked the player counts of some of the game modes a little bit. And the big kicker here is that all of the skins that were previously limited time from those events are now going to be unlocked from the store and earnable through ribbons. So essentially, if you either paid or grinded for any of those skins in the limited time game mode, assuming that they were going to be gone forever, which this is EA, they're never truly gone forever when a profit is to be made, but those bundles and those skins that you got out of FOMO are now going to be available for everybody. And DICE's kind of ideology around this is that it's going to open those events back up to new players or players that perhaps missed out on those, which, granted, I don't know how many players are kicking rocks down the road thinking, oh man, I really wish I could have played those mid-season events that nobody really cared about. Which, you know, hey, maybe there is a huge influx of new players coming in. I don't know. DICE probably knows better than me. But at least in my echo chamber, I don't really know of anybody that was clamoring for these old limited time game modes to be making a return. If anything, they should have been more permanent modes that have been cycled through in the portal, but no, they were kept as limited time for those events, and now they're back as quote-unquote new content, which if you are starting to play the game now or did not get a chance to play any of those game modes, yeah, this is new content. But for everybody else, this is just a gigantic nothing burger. When I tell you that I have never seen this happen, so normally I like to wake up with these development updates and watch them with everybody else. You know, everybody was in there waiting, and as soon as this development update was done, you could see the YouTube chat just going with question marks, and what, that was it? That was what they had to announce to us? I have never seen something be so ruthlessly roasted after there was so much hype leading up to this video. Manufactured hype by DICE. They said, come and see what we're cooking, and this was it. And I know that they were probably going into this with good intentions. You know, let's bring back the limited time game modes. Let's bring back some skins. Let's be the good guy in this situation. But the context here is so important. After the announcement made its way onto social media and more people got the news, a lot of people were like, I don't understand the negativity. Like, they're bringing back these game modes. They're allowing people to get the skins if they missed them. I don't understand what all the negativity is about, and they are getting some extra time for Season 6, which, hey, if Season 6 is going to be the last season, we want them to have all the time they need to make sure that this content is going to be good content. Here's the thing. Tweaking event modes and putting skins from these events back into the game for new players to earn is admirable. That gets a thumbs up for me in pretty much any circumstance. But for older players, which I think the remaining player base of this game is a lot of the old guard that are just sticking it out, this is a big nothing burger, as I already said. And if Season 6 launches with 1 map and 4 weapons after a delay, which, given the track record of how the seasons have gone so far, this is highly likely, Redux is going to get shit on endlessly. And this is a monster of DICE's own creation. It would not be such a big deal. All of this would not be such a big deal if the game wasn't completely starved for content to begin with, but it is, as this is just another episode of what has been a horrific live service model from DICE. So as the current season ends in a couple of weeks, you can imagine why people would be upset with another 6 weeks of content that they've already seen before. And I would like to reiterate that skins does not necessarily translate into content. Cosmetics definitely hold a different amount of worth depending on the player, but I would say that a majority of players consider content to be weapons, maps, vehicles, specialists, which none of this has. It just has recycled game modes and recycled skins. The only way, in my opinion, in which any of this ends up being acceptable in the long term is if DICE doesn't take these game modes away again. Put them in the weekly rotation for us to play, because what looms ahead is definitely more important than the 6 weeks in between Season 5 and Season 6. If Season 6 does end up being the last season of Battlefield 2042 like we all expect it to be, based on the momentum of the game, and we sit through 6 weeks of rehashed content just to get the same amount of content that we have gotten in previous seasons, then Redux is once again just going to get mercilessly shit on. We're essentially staring down the gun barrel of a 2-year wait for the next Battlefield game. So the expectation, as brutal as it may be, is that the last season should at least have a larger amount of content to try and tide players over. Which, let's be honest, this game is dropping dead as soon as the live service ends. But regardless, if the amount of content in the final update ends up being the same as it has been after 6 weeks of being force-fed content that a large majority of players have already seen before, well, to be honest, that would be a really disappointing end to this game's comeback attempt, but truthfully, it really wouldn't surprise me. Now, all of that can be dispelled if there ends up being a Season 7, but you can't really blame me and others for reading the pulse of this game and feeling like the game is coming to an end, but that's a long way into the future. The present is that Battlefield 2042 Redux feels like a gigantic meme that really just summarizes what this live service has been like for the last year and a half. Actually, this summarizes Battlefield and DICE's live service since Battlefield 5, to be completely honest with you. But that's just my opinion on Battlefield 2042 Redux. I'm interested to hear your opinion as well. Are you excited for this if you're a new player? Are you kind of just as disappointed as I am? Are you a little bit indifferent to it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video as well if you enjoyed it. Both those things help me greatly in the algorithm. Subscribe for more content if you enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. New videos akin to my normal content are on the way soon. I will see you all another time.